Greetings, I'm Bairnt and welcome to the One-Stop Co-op Shop. Today, we're going to be bringing the game Unlocked, the Mansion of Mana, to you. This is normally a 2 to 5 player competitive game, but it is not going to be played that way today. We're going to be doing the solo variant. Now, this game is by Sean Howard and has a fantastic theme and a great art direction. I'm really excited to bring this one to you. In this video, we're going to do the intro, the setup, and we're also going to do the whole playthrough. That's right, we're going to do everything in one video. This game is fast, fun, and really easy to bring to the table. I recommend this to anybody who's looking forward to playing a fast, fun game that you can take with you wherever you're going to go. So now let's start with the setup. So the first thing we have to do is set up our board. We're going to take all of our key cards and we're going to go through and look and make sure they have a 1 up here. And I've already done that. I've took out all the 1s, which means these are all for the solo game. Now, of course, when you play competitively, you're going to use all the cards from the 1 and equal to as many players as you play. If you look, some of these cards have 2s and 3s and even 4s on them. So we're taking only the solo cards and we're going to deal out our board. Now look at how many solo cards there are, and then you're going to see how many places we're going to set up, and it's not even going to come close to the number that there is in here. So there's so much replayability just from all the cards in the game. We're going to randomly place these cards out on the board. Now we're going to set this game up just like we'd be setting up a 4-player game, but we're going to set it up for a solo game. So we're going to set these cards out. Now each one of these cards is going to have different symbols on them, and each of these cards is also going to give you a special power if you're able to unlock the room with the key that's in it. So we're going to set these out here, and then we're going to go through some of these cards. I'm going to look at some of these. The Moonstone key. And then, like I said, it's each got a power. And these are what we're going to try to do to build this key. And if you use the power, you're going to go ahead and slide that over to show that you've done that key, because you can't use keys multiple times most of the time. Of course, there are some that you can. So we're going to lay out our board. That is our board. It's all set. So see, we still have so many keys left that we haven't done anything with. But we do have some really awesome keys out there. The art, like I said, is really cool and a lot of fun in this game. We've got the Angel key out there. This one's really cool looking. The Key of Echoes. That's a pretty cool looking key. And look at the Key of the Phoenix. Wow. It's amazing. I can't believe he got art for all these keys, and every one of these looks so unique. It's really neat. All right, enough oogling over the art. We've got our board set up. Now we have to go ahead and set up our draw deck and also our river. So we're now going to go ahead and set up our draw deck and the river. So here's our draw deck, and since we're setting up for a 4-player game, you're going to put out 1 card for each player plus 1. So since we're playing, technically it's set up for a 4-player game, we're going to put out 5 cards. So we're going to put out 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now these cards are all going to mean something as we play through this game. We're going to be looking for colors and symbols to match all the different things on those keys that you saw earlier. So now that we've got all that set up, we're also going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, and that's going to be our starting hand. So we have some symbols and cards in our hand, plus we have an actual fun card here. It says map to a secret room here. It says add a key. So if I decide to play this card, I can replace a key from one of those random keys that we actually put to the side that we didn't use to set up the game. So now we got our cards and our river set up. We're going to go ahead and put out the rest of the elements. So in this game, we're going to be the yellow player. And yes, it does matter what color you are. We have to be yellow. We're going to put our little tokens over here, our gems right over there, because we're going to be facing off against the guardians. And they're going to be all the other colors of these gems. So we're going to have a green guardian, a red guardian, a blue guardian, and a purple guardian. We're just going to randomly put them down on the sides here of these cards. As we play through the game, these guardians are going to move around and try to block us from being able to complete some of these keys. So we have everything set up. That's it. That's how fast it is to set this game up. You just put your board down, you put your 4 guardians, you take your gems, and you set up your river and draw deck, and you're ready to go. So if you think we can make it through Mansions of Mana, the solo variant, then I need you to meet me at the co-op shop.
High class roller.
So this game does come with a great little sheet here that tells you everything you kind of need to know how to play the game. This is the turn order. We're going to quickly just kind of go through it as we play to the first round. Then we're going to kind of speed things up to show you kind of how fast and fun this game can be. So the first turn we're going to start with is the very beginning here, key activation. We're going to ready tokens on start of turn, Choose which keys ready, act and order, and move tokens to exhausted after use. So what I mean by that is some of these keys are going to have the abilities that you're going to activate. Once you do, you're going to slide them to their exhausted phase. That's what that means. Also, other keys might only activate if you draw a certain kind of card. So you're going to do that at this point as well. And then we're going to see if that key actually activates. The next phase of the game is our Draw Ruins phase. There are 3 locations to draw the runes from: the draw deck, the river, and the discard deck. Now, in the competitive version of the 2 to 5 player game, you can draw from any of these sources. During the solo game, you cannot draw from the discard deck. Otherwise, it'd be a little too easy to be able to put something that you might just want later right in the discard deck, because you can just grab it right back. So we're going to choose one of the following. We can either draw 3 blindly from the top of the draw deck, or we can draw 2 from the mix of the river or the draw deck. Now, like I said before, you can't draw from the discard deck. Now, in the solo mode, our goal is to unlock these keys from this side of the board all the way down the board to that side. And you have to go from row to row. Now, that's different from the 2 to 5 player game. In that game, you can build any key on the board you want at any time. But during the solo game, we have to build these first, and then we have to move that way. Now, you only need to build 1 per column, and you just need to build 1 in each row as we go. Now, if we look at our keys here, for example, we've got our key of the echoes. Now, we need to build it using these symbols from top to bottom. Once we do that, we have completed the key, and we can then move on to the next one over here. Now, notice this one has 4 symbols we have to unlock, and the other one down here has 5, the key of the Kraken. The reason it has 5 versus 4 is that this key potentially has more power than this one. That's usually how you determine how good these keys are and how much you need to actually put that down to win, is based on, if there's 5, it's usually a more powerful card. Now, if we look at the cards in our hand, we have these symbols. So we need to compare them to the ones we have out here. So we have this symbol and we have this symbol up here. So we're already on our way to completing the key of echo. On the other hand, we do have these 2 symbols in this key, but of course, they're farther down the key. We don't have these right here. So when we go to draw our runes, that's something we want to think about, is do we want to try to build this key or this key? Now, you can build or have building up to 2 keys. You can't ever build more than 2 at one time. So if we could start building both of them just to have them in case we get cards for either one as we go, or we can just concentrate on getting one done. So I've gone ahead and put our keys down here just so we can look at them as we're deciding if we want to draw from the draw deck or take from the river itself. Now, like I said before, we can draw 3 cards blindly from this draw deck, or we can take a mixture of 2 from either the draw deck or the river itself. And if we look at some of our cards, we've got the Kraken. Now, I know we've looked at it before, but check this out. It needs that and that. And I think that is out here on the river. We have this card and this card. Now, they don't have to be the same color. If you're actually able to complete a key with all the same colors, you can gain 2 gems on it, meaning that you can activate that key twice when you go to activate it. So we're able to pull these 2 cards into our hand. And then if we look at it, we can play this card, then we can play this card. Then, look at this. This is going to be amazing. We actually did this. We're going to be able to play that card. Then we're going to play this card and then this card. And that actually is the complete key for this key of the Kraken. So when the first turn, we were able to complete a level 5 key. Wow, that's unbelievable. So now we're going to take our cards and discard them in the order that we had to play them. And we're going to put them into the discard pile. We're going to keep our add a key card. Why not? Because if we come to a key we're not sure we can actually complete, we might be able to swap it out for something a little bit easier. So we're going to put these back onto the board, and we're going to put one of our gems on the key of the Kraken. So since we're able to complete the key of the Kraken, we're going to put one of our gems on it. Now, if we look at the key itself, it has a power. It has this 3 swirly symbols, and it also has 3 little check marks down here and then an X. Now, to figure out what those symbols mean, we have to consult our little table here. So if we look, the bottom one has a symbol like, was it this? So it says immediately, can be used immediately. So that means I can use this key right now if I wanted to. It also has a storable ability. It can be used once at any time during one of your turns. So not only could I use it now, I could use it at any time. That's what these 2 symbols down here mean. Now, this is the cool part. That is what the power of this key holds. And we have to consult a different chart. Check this chart out. This is how many different symbols you're going to find on these keys. That's how awesome this game is. Each one of these keys does so many different things. Our key just happens to do this: wild card ruin. Skip any single rune when completing a key. So at any time, if we decide we want to work on one of these keys, so say we're going to do the mud key next, and we only have this card and this card, and we really want to complete this key, we could use this key to grant us a wild symbol by putting our gem down here. And we could do it again and again. Well, actually, I lied. It starts here. Or no, 3, 2, 1. We're just going to walk right on down. And then once we get to here, our key has lost its power and we can't actually use it anymore. We still have the key unlocked. We just can't use the power it has. So now if we go down our turn order card, we actually did number 3 just right real fast. It was cast cards. Play runes to build a key in any order. Limit of 2 keys in progress at a time. When a key is built, add token to ready. If a key is activated immediately, it must be used unless it can be stored. And then we play specialty cards. I don't have any specialty cards. I have this one, but I don't want to play it right now. And then now we're going to move into the meditation step. We can discard to hand limit of 3 plus any hand mods that we have out here. So again, some of these keys are going to be able to give us the ability to have more cards held in our hand, but normally you can only have 3 at one time. Now we only have 1, so we don't have to worry about that. If none drawn from the river, discard the oldest. Otherwise, we have to refill the river and inform the next player to begin. We don't have to worry about the last part of that sentence. We got to do all the rest. So we depleted the river pretty badly. I shouldn't say badly. It was awesome. So we're going to go ahead, slide these down, and we're going to go ahead and fill it up from that side. You always slide everything down and then you fill it up. Now, of course, if we didn't use anything from the river and we grabbed 3 cards randomly, we would have to discard this card, move all these down, and restock it. But we used some of the cards from the river this time. Now that we've done that, we have to go into the Guardian phase. It's phase 5. It's not on the card because it's only done in the solo game. In the Guardian phase, we're going to go ahead and activate our Guardians by drawing 2 cards from the top of the draw deck. And we're going to see what colors those are. The first one is green, and the second one is purple. So what that means is we're going to be moving the green and purple Guardian to try to block us and not be able to activate keys. So since we drew green and we drew purple, they're both going to move. Now, if we draw a purple one again, let's say, it would then move towards us and try to prevent us from moving across the board, or as I should say, the mansion. So that's how these Guardians are going to move. They're going to try to block us as we move down this thing. Now, since we got a green and a purple one, those 2 moved out. That's the end of the Guardian phase, and now we're going to move into the next phase, which brings us all the way back to the beginning again. So we're going to activate our keys if we need to. We're not going to be moving any keys around. We're going to draw some runes and cast some cards. So here again are the 3 keys in our next column we have to try to do. Now, of course, our Guardian is sitting on top of the key of the Phoenix, so we can't even build this key. We cannot unlock it. We can't do anything with this key until he either moves off it or we're able to get rid of him. The way you can get rid of a Guardian is if you play 3 cards of the same color. So if we had 3 green cards, we could then send him back to his starting location. We never actually can get rid of a Guardian, but we can at least send it back to where it came from. But for now, we're just going to leave him where he is. Besides, the Phoenix looks like a tough key to actually finish. We might work on this mud key or these angel keys. So let's see. We don't have any of these symbols in our hand. We're only holding that add a key card. So we're not going to be doing that. And if we look here, none of these symbols are actually found at the beginning of these keys, so I can't even start making a key. You always, if you start making a key, you have to start at the top and move down. You can't just start anywhere in the middle and just start filling it in. There are some powers in keys that let you do that, but we don't actually have that ability. So we're going to look at these cards. So for example, this is the second one, so maybe I might want to take that one and maybe one from the top of the draw deck. Or I could maybe think I'm just going to get lucky and draw 3 cards from the draw deck. And you can always take one from the draw deck first and then decide what you want to do. So our first card we got is this symbol, and it's located here on this card. Now, I don't have any of these other symbols. Now, since we didn't get the top symbol here or any of the symbols that are on this card from this one, we might just go ahead and start drawing from here. So we're going to draw our next card. Let's make sure that none of these are out here. Oh, this one's out here. Maybe I might want to take that card, and then we might get lucky enough to find that one later on. Now, I can only take 2 if I do ever take one from the river, or I can just take 3. Let's just take 3 and see what happens. Oh, we got discard and redraw. We can use that card if we need to, and we got a blue one with that symbol. So that was a really bad idea. I should have probably just taken one of these cards knowing that then I would have 2 of the symbols I need for this key. But instead, I did not do that. We're going to go ahead, move this down. We're going to go to our meditate turn here. We're going to take some cards out, put them out there, and now we're going to have to go ahead into the guardian phase. We're going to draw 2 cards. We got a blue one, and we also got a purple one. So we're going to move those guardians. So our purple one is going to move on down, and our blue one is going to come on the board. So now we're going to move into our draw runes phase, and we're going to cast some cards. But of course, I do want to show you this. I did screw up. Meditation, discard 2, hand limit 3. I didn't do that. I kept 4 cards. I tried to cheat. I held on to 4. So we're going to go ahead and discard this one. What that card can do is I could discard that card and any number of cards I wanted to actually draw from this draw deck equal that number if I want to. But I'm going to discard that. I think we're going to be okay. We've got some pretty good cards in our hand. Now, of course, I don't have anything that can really help us start these keys. Now, what I could do is I could take one of these, so at least I have that for like I thought of last time. What we're going to do is we're going to draw 1 card. Oh, look at that. That's perfect. So we got this card, and we're going to also take this one, I think. That's what we're going to do. And then we're going to go ahead and cast our runes here, cast our cards here. We're going to go ahead and put down this one. We're then going to build this one, and we're going to build that one. And now casting our cards allows us to go ahead and do this. We get to activate this one. Now, sadly, this one only takes 3 cards to activate, or to unlock. So that must mean it's a pretty kind of bummer card, because 4 and 5 is usually a lot better. This symbol right here means I have to discard 2 cards. So I have to discard the other 2 cards I have in my hand in order to take command of this key. But that's going to be okay. So we're going to be able to put our marker on that one. So we're going to place our thing here, and this symbol right here says it activates immediately. So I'm going to go ahead and put on the check mark and move it right over there, meaning we've gone ahead and activated our key, which made me discard our 2 cards. Now we're going to move into our meditate round, and I'm going to go ahead and just draw the next card there. Now we're going to go into our guardian phase, and let's see what he gets. He got a purple and blue, so we're going to move those guardians. Now if we look at our mansion, purple's already here. He's already blocking my next column, so he's not going to move. But blue's going to move over to try to get as close to that key as he can. Now it doesn't mean that I have to unlock these keys. I can unlock any one here, but these 2 are ones that are going to be pretty much impossible to get. Now if I draw a green card, he's going to probably move back here to try to block me, and red can come in and try to block me as well. And then if we have all the guardians on these cards, we have to try to get rid of a guardian before we even start getting one of these cards. Now moving into our next draw phase, I didn't even put out the cards that have the guardians on them. I just kind of left those keys on the board. We're just going to deal with these 2 and hopefully try to activate one of these. Now I think we're going to be able to do it. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to take this. And what I'm going to do then is we are going to activate our key of the Kraken. And what I can do with that, of course, is I can use one of its powers to make it a wild. I'm going to make it that symbol there on this key. So we're going to be able to have this symbol made by the Kraken, and then I have the other 2 cards for that key. And again, we have unlocked yet another key. So we're going to discard those 2 cards. Now with this key unlocked and activated, what the power up here is going to be able to do is it's going to be the same as that discard cards that I got earlier. Now the problem with it is I have to be able to expose this purple rune, and it'll activate that. And we're going to do that during the very first part of the phases. But to do it, I have to show this card and then put it in the discard pile to whether or not it's going to activate that. Now I can choose to do that if I want or not. And I'm most of the time probably not going to do that, because one thing I didn't mention is this is your timer. If you can't at any point draw a card from here, the game is over. You have lost. The guardians have successfully kept you out of the mansion. So we have unlocked it, and I'm probably not going to use it very much. But this key, oh, that key's awesome. So we're going to go ahead and put our gem on that key. And then look at that. We've already got 3 done. We only have to do 2 more. Wow, this game is going absolutely better than I've ever done before. I've never been able to unlock this many keys that much fast. And this is absolutely amazing. Now we're going to go ahead and refill the river because, of course, I took 2 cards from it. And then we're going to go into our guardian step here, and let's see which ones move. Wild moves. Now when you draw a wild card during the guardian phase, the one that's the farthest from you is going to move. And then the next one is blue. So blue and the farthest one from us. Now the farthest one from us is actually our red guy, so he's going to move onto the board. And our blue one is going to move back to try to block some of our momentum going this way. Now I've gone ahead again and put the 2 keys down here. This one is the needle key. The needle key is pretty cool looking. It only needs 2 symbols, so that must mean that's not too good, and it's not. I have to discard a rune of my choice from my hand. But right now I don't have any cards, so it might not be the end of the world to try to activate that one. Now this one in their hand, look, it's got 5 things here. But I'm able to draw a card from the river equal to the number of runes that I have out on the board. Or I could draw them from the draw deck as well. So I have 3 out there right now. So I could actually draw 3 cards because of this card extra if I want to. But these are the 2 keys we need to do. I actually think this is going to be our better key to do because we can actually get done faster. This one is going to be really tough to do. Now if we look at our cards out here, the only card out here that even helps me is this one. And I have 2 of them out here. So none of the cards out here are helping me. So I think we're just going to start drawing cards and see what happens. We got a swirly card, that could help with this key. Let's see what the next card we get is. It's one of those. Again, it helps with this key, and we get one more. Let's see what we get. Oh, we got that card. That card doesn't help at all. All right, so we got 2 from this key. But again, I can't build them yet because I have to start at the top, and I don't have that symbol. Now we have only 3 cards in our hand, so I don't have to discard any. We do have to remove this card from the river and move them down. Put a new card out here, and then we have to go ahead and move our guardians again. So we're going to move the red one, and we're going to move the one that's the farthest from us. So we're going to go ahead and move our red one square. Now my key that I just activated is down here, so we also move the one that's the farthest from us, which again I think is our red one. It might be the green one because the green one's going to try to want to get over here and block us. I'm not exactly sure. We're, I think, going to just move the red one over to there. It's going to block us, which is sad because I was just about ready to activate that key. I think I was going to be able to do it next round. Now, one thing I could do if I want to, I brought the needle key over here just because we might activate that one. I could choose to take these 2 cards and then this one, discard all 3 of these to bring our red guardian back to where he started from. And then he would be off that key, but of course I would have discarded a card that I was actually planning to use to try to build the key. So that's another story in itself. But from where I stand, that actually might be one of the best plays, because then I'm not drawing anything from here. But remember, it's our timer. The more I take from here, the faster this disappears. Of course, I am taking 2 from here. I think we're going to do that. We're going to get rid of that red guardian. We're going to push him all the way back to his starting location. Then we're going to go ahead, slide this down, put these out, and we're going to draw our next 2 cards for our guardians. Well, of course, the red one comes back on the board. That's pretty funny. And then the one the farthest away. I bet that's a red one again. So that's where we stand. I'm going to go ahead and do all that. So I was able to put the red guardian back in its home, but then it came out again, and now the farthest one from me again is the red one. He's going to move out to here. Look at how cool this card is. This is the Chimera key. Check that out. Wow. It's got the dragon, the goat, and the lion all together. Oh, it's a really cool looking card. All right, he's right there though. We're not making that key. We're trying for this moonstone key. Now if we look here, we have one of the symbols we need right here. I'm holding one other symbol, so we only have 2 symbols, and there's not much else out that's going to help us. But look at what we got here. These 2 cards are the needle key. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to create this needle key. We're going to draw these 2 cards, cast our runes to create the needle key, which makes me discard a rune of my choice. Now I've got these 2 runes that I can discard from. But if we look at our last row of keys here, it looks like these 2 symbols that are on these cards, I could use either one of them to help create one of these. So it's going to be kind of a tough call. I think what I'm going to do is I am going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of the wild one, just because in case I need to get rid of a green guardian, like he comes running at me, I got to make sure that I can keep him at bay. So we're going to keep that one. And now we've gone ahead and unlocked our needle key. So again, we're going to go ahead and put our gem right there on the needle key, and we're ready to go. We only have one more set of keys we have to unlock. Now, of course, we're going to have to go ahead and see what our guardians do. So we're again going to fill our river back up with 2 cards, and then we're going to see we got a blue one and we've got the green one. All right, those are going to be the 2 guardians that move. Now again, the blue one's going to move over to try to block us. And since this was the key I just unlocked, he's going to try to be as close to it as possible. Our green one's going to come running. Now I believe he can stand on the keys I've activated, but he can't stand on ones that the guardian's on. So he's coming down this way too. Hopefully one doesn't get to here before he can complete that key. Otherwise, again, I've got to try to take out one of these guardians before I can do the key. Now, since I don't see too much blue up here, I didn't even bring that card with me. But if we look at the card, I need to get all these 4 different symbols in order to complete this key. Now we have one right here, so I think I'm going to take that one. Then I don't have any of the other ones, so I'm going to go ahead and draw one card. Oh, and I think we got one of these. Oh, we did not. Oh, we got one of the symbols. It's right here. So what we can do is we can go ahead and start building this key. So we're going to put that card out, and it's ready to go. So I don't have to worry about that being ever discarded from my hand. I've cast the ruin out. And now we're going to go ahead and fill up the river a little bit, and we're going to draw 2 cards. We got a green one, and then we got a discard and redraw. What that means is if you draw one of these during the Guardian phase, you have to take your cards, shuffle them up, and discard one at random. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that one. And then we still have this one in our hands. Oh, we got lucky. That's fantastic. Yes. And then again, we're going to go ahead and move our green one over this way. Now it's our turn. We only need to get just one other symbol, and we're going to be good here. All right, we're going to start drawing, because if I can get one of these 2 symbols, I think we're going to have it. Oh, we got the symbol right away. Yes. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We've got this one already cast. We're going to go ahead and use that one to cast the next rune. Then, of course, remember our Key of the Kraken that we unlocked a long time ago? We're going to use its second use of that to go ahead and skip, just straight out skip that one, and then put our next one down, and we're done. We have cast the runes and have unlocked our mirror key, which apparently is going to be suffering from 7 years of bad luck. And that's our mirror key. That's our game. We've actually gone ahead. I think we've won the game. Let's go put our rune on it. So we're gone ahead, put our rune right there, and we're done. We have completed our quest through the Mansion of Mana. I can't believe we actually got through this thing. This is a pretty tough game. I made it look probably pretty easy, but there's a lot of times these Guardians can go right on a key you really want to do, like it did up here with the Moonstone key. We got rid of it, but then again, we just automatically did the Needle key instead. But having these Guardians around kind of can cause some problems, especially if they start, when you get near the end and they're kind of following you or doing things, and they get in the way of all 3 keys, then you have a really big trouble getting these things off. Now, in the solo game, after you complete the game, you can go ahead and see how you did based on, or I guess you could say how good of a magi you are, based on the amount of cards that are still left in the rune deck. So if we go ahead and look at our deck, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We had 5 cards left in our rune deck. So let's go ahead and see how that responds to us. It says, cards left in rune deck. Well, that was close. You may not be what the Magus expected, but you made it to his lab and saved him fair and square. All right, there we go. We saved him. What a great way to end the game. We were able to save the Magi, or Magus. Sadly, we did not become the super Magi that we wanted to, but that is how you play Mansion of Mana by Sean Howard. Oh, this game was really good. I've had a lot of fun playing this. I've played this quite a bit. I even brought it out with some friends to play competitively as well, and it plays really fun. It's a really, really fun game, and like I said before, the artwork on all these keys are absolutely gorgeous. I cannot get enough. I mean, you see all the keys out there, and then we have even more in here. There's the cursed key. Look at that key. It looks awesome. Look at this, the key of Pompeii with the volcano in the background. These keys, oh, the magic lantern key. Oh, so good. And there you have it, unlocked Mansion of Mana by Sean Howard. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell symbol. This game is easy to get to the table, fast and fun, and it's actually pretty difficult. Like I said, I kind of made it look, I thought I made it look pretty easy, but I still only made a so-so for the actual point total. I got a 5. If you get a 10, that's when things really start going well for you. Now, if you are interested in this game, in the description below, I'm going to put a link to his information and also the website that you can actually buy the game from. So if you're interested in it, you can check that out. Also, please feel free to leave anything in the comments below. I would love to hear from everyone. Again, thank you so much for watching. And if you're excited to see what comes next, then I need you to meet me at the co-op shop.